Have you ever looked at a photograph and felt like you were seeing more than just a picture, but, I don't know, a whole worldview? Well, that's exactly the kind of power we're diving into today through the incredible art of Michal Greenboim. And we're going to start with the words that really define her vision.
You know, this one quote, it's pretty much the key to her entire creative universe. For her, the camera isn't just some machine, it's a companion, a partner that helps her hunt for beauty in the tiniest little fragments of our world. A flicker of light, a quick movement, everything.
So a perspective like that doesn't just come out of nowhere, right? For pretty much any artist, the answer is always in their personal journey. And Michal Greenboim is no exception. Her story actually spans continents and cultures.
Her life has really been a story of movement and eventually return. She was born in Jerusalem, grew up in padres-hanna, then spent time in the United States, and finally she came back to Jerusalem. You can bet that each of these places left a huge mark on who she is and, of course, on her art. And this is where it gets really interesting. You see this huge contrast in her experience. On one hand, padres-hanna gave her these sweet childhood memories, that feeling of home. But her time in the USA, it was the total opposite, a feeling of estrangement and non-belonging. And it's that tension, between belonging and feeling like an outsider that really seems to have forged her unique way of seeing the world. Okay, so she's got all this experience, this rich inner world. How does that actually turn into art? Well, it wasn't an overnight thing. It was a real evolution. From capturing single, beautiful moments to weaving them into these big, compelling stories. She started out with individual photos that, as she puts it, told her a story. But after a while, she started seeing the connections, right? The threads between them. And she began building them into these larger projects and series that told a much bigger story. That's how she really grew into a true visual storyteller, sharing these incredible visions in books, films, and exhibitions all over the world. And wow, the worlds she creates, they're just amazing. Just listen to the titles: Dreaming Antarctica, Mystical Trees and Fog. I mean, you can almost feel the atmosphere just from the names. Each project is like a doorway into a whole different emotional landscape, a full story told without a single word. So what's the glue that holds all of this together, all these different stories and images? Well, underneath it all, there's this really profound philosophy. And if you really want to get her work, you have to understand the deeper ideas that are driving her. And here it is, right from her. This is basically her mission statement. She's not just taking pictures of the world, she's searching for that exact spot where our physical reality bumps up against something deeper, something spiritual. Her camera becomes a bridge, connecting what we can see with what we can feel. So what's the point of building this bridge? It's actually pretty simple. She wants to spark that feeling of wonder in us. She wants us to just stop for a second and think about the beauty and the mystery that's all around us. Her work is an invitation to see the world as more than just a bunch of stuff. And you can see this philosophy so clearly in a series she created called Flicker of Life, which has been described as a sad story. I mean, the title alone suggests something that's fleeting but beautiful, right? It's all about capturing those spiritual little moments that make up our lives. But then you see that same idea in a completely different way in her Swan Lake series, which is all about grace and balance. So whether she's looking at the fragility of life or the elegance of a swan, she's always exploring that connection between the physical form and its spiritual essence. Okay, so all of this, her journey, her process, her philosophy, it all comes together beautifully in this little poem she wrote about her work. It's the perfect summary of everything we've been talking about. My lens reveals the beauty in the blend, where faith and reality transcends. Through images that evoke wonder and awe, I invite you to see the connections that draw, the physical and spiritual together, and discover a world that's forever. See? It's all right there. The blending of faith and reality, that sense of wonder, and the goal of showing us how everything is connected. So at the end of the day, the big takeaway is this. Every single part of Michal Greenboim's art, from her childhood memories to her feelings of being an outsider, from one photo to a whole exhibition, it all serves one powerful purpose: to reveal the hidden threads that connect our physical world to the spiritual one, inviting us to see our world as complete. And that really leaves us with something to think about, doesn't it? Greenboim uses her camera to find beauty in a fragment of a moment. So what if we tried to look at our own lives that way? What beauty is hiding in a fragment of your day?